Hello, my lovely subscribers. December is here and I am already feeling slightly Christmassy. We haven't put up all of the decorations yet, but not long now. It's more just a case of trying to get the things down. So, as you can see, I've added my little tree in here, stolen from my husband from his room. And thank you before I start for everyone who sent well wishes to me last week because obviously I was a bit sad. Um, I yeah, anyway, it was a weird time and I'll be going to a funeral on the 20th of so very close to Christmas. So a very strange situation's going to feel like then as well. But for now, I am in Christmassy mode. I am feeling much more cheerful and I've got lots of cool stuff to talk to you about today. I'm going to start with one that I've had for ages because I wore it this week and I loved it more than ever. So I'm thinking this one is just so good in cold weather. So this is Rive My Only Wish, and this is the Rive dupe of Yes I Am by Cacharel. So this one, I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same notes. They've just fully like ripped it off, right? I mean, as you do if you're a proper dupe house. So top notes are raspberry, tangerine, lemon, and bergamot. Middle notes gardenia, ginger flower, orange blossom, jasmine, rose, and amber. Base notes caramel, milk, um, vanilla, cardamom, coumarin, benzoin, licorice, sandalwood, and amber. So there's a lot of notes. It's fruity, it's sweet, it's kind of unusual smelling. It has that slight doll head smell that I do tend to get when there's cardamom in a perfume. And it's just so cozy. It's like unusual. It's very sweet, very pretty, really girly, but it's just got that kind of slight unusual, gingery, spicy, you know, not run of the mill feel about it, which to me always makes it feel kind of girly and sexy, but almost ever so slightly gothic. There's like something dark about this perfume, even though it's very bright and sweet and fun. I just think it's gorgeous. I think it's exactly the right color combination, like black and red. The same with the original bottle. I just think it suits the perfume so well. But anyway, so it's been super cold in the UK. London has been very cold. We've been like waking up to -1. It's been like super, super chilly. I wore this on a very cold day. It was kind of cold and crisp, and oh my goodness, I could just get so much caramel in this cold weather. It was so delicious. It smelled like a kind of toffee caramel, not burnt, just really creamy and yummy. So it's that milk and caramel mixed together. Just absolutely loved wearing it to the point where I wore it the whole day. And actually, I wore this one to work and I resprayed it in the evening when I got home. And at work, I have a Pascal Morabito, which is definitely also a rip-off of Yes I Am, called Aimer. Those two, this and that one, they smell so, so similar, almost identical. So I wear that one when that's the one I reapply at work. But this is the one that I put on. And then I also wore this again in the evening on one of the other days last week because I just was obsessed. It's just so delicious. I could happily wear this all week. It's so lush. It's not as strong as the original, but it doesn't have the very slight tarry dry down that I get in the original. In the original, Yes I Am, I get a little bit of that kind of Veramossy, that fixant smell. In all of the flankers I've smelt from the Yes I Am range, that tar note is so incredibly strong that I can't bear them. So it's only a tiny bit in the original though, but I prefer this version, and this one's ever so slightly brighter in the fruit, just a tiny bit fruitier, but a tiny bit juicier. Um, Love it. I just love it so much. I can't even tell you. What am I gonna? I'm working out what fits here, obviously. So I'm just gonna talk about this one real quick. This is really, is it really random? Kind of a bit random. Should I find the notes for it? So well, let me start from the beginning. I went on eBay a while back, and this is so weird because I just watched Maria Colette talking about her husband buying her this because she used to wear it as a signature scent when she was younger. And same for me. I used to wear More and More by Cacharel. I wore it for probably at least a year as my signature scent when when it first came out, I'd say. So I think this is 90s or early 2000s. Um, so More and More by Cashmere, I always thought of this as being quite a sweet, kind of vanilla-y, rosy, slightly citrusy perfume. And nowadays, I think this one smells way more citrusy to me. I haven't given this one a full wear test yet, but look, it's just, I just got the tiny one because I wanted to just get it for cheap to remember the scent. Yeah, it was so weird the timing because I already had it on order when she was talking about it in her video. Um, so I will give that one a wear test and try it and see how I feel about it. It's probably been reformulated a bit because I don't think it's quite as sweet and syrupy. I always thought there was patchouli in this, but there isn't. It's weird. But anyway, I've been talking for ages. So when I was ordering that from the eBay seller, because that was really cheap, I think maybe like a tenner or something, I saw this. That's Me by Helen Fischer. Now, I think Helen Fischer is a German celebrity, maybe a pop star. I'm not sure. Um, so I've seen these. Let's be real. I've noticed them because of the bottles before this range, but this was the only one where the notes kind of appealed to me, and I think it was something like 7.99 or something on eBay from the same seller. So I thought I'm just gonna snap it up and see what it smells like. Um, wow, why is this so difficult to open? Oh, they don't want me to get into it though. I'm gonna have to take it out from the bottom. It's got a weird box, massively overpackaged. Like, it doesn't really need to have such a massive. Anyway. I think these are really cool, these bottles. I think they look like a block of ice, like chiseled out of ice. So, um, this guy, weirdly, it shares a little bit of the profile from Cacharel's Amor, which I was surprised about because obviously I'd bought them in the same batch, and then yeah, I sprayed this one out, and there was something familiar about it, but only like in the dry down, the general profile. They don't actually smell the same. So, okay, let's discuss this one because I don't think it's for me, but I do also think it's quite pretty. Um, let's get into the weeds with it. I'm also going to try not to blind you. What's the best angle? Let's go for that. So the notes in here are top notes of peach, Italian tangerine, pink freesia, middle notes of coconut, lotus and rose, base notes of vanilla, musk and woody notes. Now, I read some things on Fragrantica and it said this is a really nice kind of gentle coconut rose. It's kind of sweet, but it's not too sweet. I do think this is really pretty, but I don't find it comfortable to wear. I did try wearing it. It's just a little bit too sweet and powdery for me. So it does have a very sugary sweetness. I'd say that it's almost like a kind of almost do you get coconut flour? Is that a thing? Almost a bit like that. Very, very powdery. It's musky. I do get a bit of a sense from the rose and lotus. It's definitely a bit of a it feels like a skin scent, so it feels like it's got a relatively subtle scent bubble, but it's also it's really like when you first spray it, it gets much, much, much stronger as it warms up on your skin. Um, and I just found it a bit uncomfortable. It's kind of like a dry peach, a powdery coconut, vanilla, and rose. It's definitely got a little bit of that lotus smell, and it's definitely musky. And I really like the bottle, and I do quite like the smell. But like I said, it's just not one that I feel comfortable in, so I won't be keeping it. But I think if you like the sound of that kind of powdery rose scent, then I think it would be a really good one. So I'm gonna talk next if I can find the notes for it. I did say I'd talk about this last week, and then I didn't actually wear it last week for one reason or another. Oh, it's because I'd saved it for Friday, and then on Friday I just went full Nivea. So this is the bottle I got from eBay, which I was so chuffed about. Fresh cream and warm cashmere. So this is the one this is the main one, apart from the original fresh cream. I don't think I've ever really seen anyone talk about fresh cream soft suede. Um, but this is the one that people seem to really go for. Fresh cream, warm cashmere. Cashmere? Cashmere? I'm never quite sure how to say that. I'm just going to say cashmere. Um, so I do like this. I actually don't like it as much as the soft suede one, but I do like it. I really enjoyed wearing it. And this one I think is the furthest away from the original fresh cream from like the things called fresh cream that I've actually tried. So fresh cream soft suede from the bottle. Oh my god, I'm talking about it now, but I actually wore that one this week as well, so I'll carry on with it in a minute. But um, that one on paper smells quite vanillic, and then it's got that smoky suede vibe, and it's got that kind of, it's got like a boozy note. Whereas this one, warm cashmere, it it's kind of, it's definitely more vanilla. There's very little of the kind of fresh cream vibe in it, other than the vanilla kind of, the longer you've been wearing it, turns quite creamy, but it doesn't necessarily have that same milky kind of, well, let's be real, breast milk kind of skin, natural milky smell about it. Um, and it is definitely obviously a little bit woody. It also has something in it that smells gourmand, and it smells kind of biscuity and popcorny to me. Happily, that doesn't last, otherwise I wouldn't like wearing this one. But when I first spray it, there is definitely something, yeah, some kind of like cookie or that kind of smell. So when I first sprayed it, I was like, oh, I'm not going to like wearing this one, I'll have to sell it on. But no, it dries down and that kind of cookie smell goes away. And it's really pretty. It is just a kind of, it's just a, as you would expect, a kind of woody, creamy vanilla. So it's nice. It's pretty inoffensive. It's really good for work because, as I said, I don't really wear the original fresh cream to work because it does smell a little bit too. I think some people find it too sour and like too much like actual real milk and real cream. So the notes in this one though are vanilla, cashmere wood, musk, sandalwood, and coconut. That's what's on for Grande anyway. I don't know where that cookie note is coming from because if you told me it was like a coconut biscuit, a coconut cookie, then I'd be like, oh right, yeah, that's what it is. And I'm not entirely sure I necessarily recognise it as coconut, but it must be toasted if it is. Um, it's mainly vanilla and cashmere wood and musk, I'd say. Very little of the cream going on in it. I liked it. I'm keeping it. I will be wearing it. It is tasty. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy about this next one. I took a chance. So I said if you watched my declutters, and I think I've talked about it a few times, I am having to get rid of Arianna Grande. Thank you next. It just, the tar note in the dry down just drives me insane. Like I just cannot have that on my skin. I just hate it too much. So I thought I'm going to test out the body spray. The reason being that I have the Sarah Jessica Parker Born Lovely. I have both in perfume and body spray. Now, the perfume, I get a little bit more of the base notes in that. So I get a little bit more of the woody. There's actually patchouli in it. I wouldn't necessarily have guessed it was patchouli, but that kind of green, strong, and like woody kind of vibe in the base of that perfume. In the body spray, I don't get hardly any of those kind of stronger base notes. Um, I actually do wonder sometimes if I prefer the body spray to the perfume, but I think it depends on my mood. Anyway, as the lovely perfumer told me, um, Vera Moss is like a fixant, so that's like the scent that drives me mad, that smells like tar to me. So I was like, I don't think body sprays, I don't think they'd put that in a body spray because body sprays are supposed to be like light and not last very long. So why would they put like a strong fixant in it? So I bought this one, and I'm very happy to say it doesn't have that strong fixant in it, so I can wear this. So it means I can get that kind of scent of Thank You Next, um, or I should say I can get the dry down of Thank You Next, because I have compared this to the perfume, and the perfume, I'm very sad to say, the perfume's definitely nicer because it has this amazing like zingy, jammy, sweet raspberry in the top that you don't really get that. This smells like the dry down of Thank You Next without any of the kind of top. That might be good for some people because some people get pickles in the top. Um, this one, I can see you probably will still smell pickles, but I sprayed it on so I can talk about it. So this I just think is easy to wear. It's not as cheap as I was hoping it would be, which is weird, but I think it's really nice and I would highly recommend it. So the notes in Thank You Next are raspberry and pear in the top, middle notes are coconut and pink rose, base notes are macaron and musk. So it's it's just really yummy. It's really comfy. It's really fun to wear. So yeah, that's a good one. I'm very happy to be able to wear this because I was genuinely sad that I couldn't before. Oh gosh, right, where am I going to put all this stuff now? I've got so much stuff. I'm going to do the big bottles. This one's easy to talk about because I've been wearing it quite a lot. As I said, this would start popping up all the time. Oh my god. The colder the weather, the more beautiful this is. This is Lolita Lempicka. Look at that, kind of glowing, hey? This is Mon Premier. I won't talk too much about it because I've got loads of videos about this. I wear it quite a lot when it gets cold. So it's cherry, star anise, and ivy in the top, licorice, violet, orris, and amaryllis in the middle, and then praline, vanilla, tonka bean, musk, and vetiver in the base. This to me is really strong in the cherry and the praline. It's got a little bit of that licorice, but it's got a nice bit of violet. It's just sweet, syrupy. It's magic. Absolute magic. It's like a more cherry heavy and a more praline heavy version of the original Lolita Lempicka. So it's even like I just can't wear this any other time than when it's quite cold because it is just like crazy, crazy sweet. Syrupy, unctuous. Oh, delicious. I love it. Perfect for this time of year. Right, let's go for this other beast. Now, this is a bit of a random one. I haven't worn this since I bought it. This is really interesting, this perfume. So this is controversial. I'm going to put it over there. Controversial by Jade Goody. So Jade Goody is a celeb, was a British celeb who sadly passed away. But this cost me like £5. It was literally £5. So you can see the kind of glorious colour of it, hopefully there. Although I am going to see if I can brighten this up because it's all. Don't know if that'll actually brighten anything up. Controversial is they don't give you much. Like I can't find much information about this, to be honest. So it's on Fragrantica, red berries in the top. The middle notes are frangipani and tiare flower. Base notes are amber and patchouli. So when I first got this, I was like, oh, there's something kind of soapy and comforting about this one. It's sweet and it's cozy. It's nice. Um, I'm just. It's really hard to describe what it smells like though because it's weird. I might actually just swap these around just to see if I can get a bit of light on this darker one. Now that you've had your shine, lovely Lolita. There we go. Let's have a bit of a glow on this so you can see the colour because it's kind of an ambery colour but with like a slightly red tone, which I think the colour absolutely is how it smells to a certain extent, you know. Um, Again, like doesn't want to light up, but anyway. This is I'm still trying to make my mind up about this one because it smells kind of creamy. It smells kind of fruity. It smells kind of soapy, not in shampoo way. But it also kind of smells like a traditional perfume. It's quite perfumey. Um, so I would say that there's I don't feel like the notes really describe it. It feels like there's something lactonic in here, and I would say it is something like whipped cream. It is that kind of feel, or like evaporated milk, or something like again quite unctuous. There's something thick, slightly lactonic feeling in here. And in terms of fruit, it kind of reminds me of strawberries. So it says red berries and they've got a picture of red currants here, or like I can't well red currants or cranberries, that kind of thing. But it doesn't give me that kind of vibe. It gives me a strawberry, um, maybe like a strawberry and red currant, or strawberry and cran. Yeah, maybe more strawberry and cranberry vibe. Um, and yeah, that's how it feels. But then it has this kind of soapy feeling and this kind of classic, almost classic Chanel-y kind of scent, that kind of thing, like an old school, slightly ambery perfume. But it's very, very sweet. I don't really get much patchouli. I think you definitely get the florals, and they're very creamy. But yeah, it's just really interesting. And because I have the other Jade Goody and that one, when I found the press release, there was a cassis tea and a candy floss note in that perfume that isn't listed on for Grande, and it totally explained why it smelt the way it did. I feel like there's maybe a strawberries and cream note in this that isn't mentioned. That might make sense then, because the other notes, if you mix a strawberry and cream in with like tiari, frangipani, amber, and red berries, like cranberry or something, then I think this would make more sense. There's something warm about it. If you like a slightly more vintagey smelling perfume, I think you'd love this. If As long as you like sweet ones, I think it's really pretty. So the top comparison, although more people disagree, is the original Madonna perfume, which I think is not the one that's called Truth or Dare, not the one in the white bottle, the other one, the kind of clear ambery coloured bottle. And then lots of people have said it smelled like Charlie Gold. I don't really think it smells like Charlie Gold, but I can kind of see that it is in that kind of realm, if you see what I mean. So it was quite fun to wear this. I don't love it, but I don't know that it's one I want to declutter either. I'm thinking about this one. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, all right. Oh, one I am probably going to declutter though. In fact, I am going to declutter it. So this is Viktoria Minya, and this is Hedonist, the original Hedonist. So the original, oh, I'll keep it here for now. Let's give it a bit of shine while I'm talking about it. So the original Hedonist is one that I hadn't smelt before I got my little set, but I was aware that everyone says it smells very similar to the one that I wanted, which is Eau de Hongrie. So oh, it's got these beautiful crystals in, so cute. So Eau de Hongrie is the one that I wanted. That's not part of the Hedonist range. It's got like a really cool bottle, but I've just got one of the little sprays. And I was basically just testing this one to see whether this does indeed smell enough like Eau de Hongrie that I don't have to keep it, like I don't need to keep it. And it does smell, I mean, there are definite differences here, but it does smell a bit like Eau de Hongrie. So it's not one that I feel like I particularly need because I prefer Eau de Hongrie. It's kind of softer. It's a little bit less vintage smelling, and I think that's because, I mean, if I read you the notes here, you'll understand. So, peach, rum, bergamot in the top, osmanthus, tobacco, jasmine, and orange blossom in the mid. Base notes vanilla, vetiver, and cedar. So, I do get a bit of rum. I do get a bit of peach. I do get this general vibe, and it kind of, in a very kind of niche, better quality, more vintage and more mature way, gives me a little bit vibes of the Scent for Her range from Hugo Boss. It's got that same kind of nice but not overpowering peach. It's got the osmanthus. It's got the vanilla and the kind of woodiness. It's really pretty, but I don't need it. And I think this is the most popular from the range, so I'd rather pass it on to someone who really wants it, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to keep hold of Eau de Hongrie, and I'm going to get rid of this one because when I've tried them together, Eau de Hongrie is kind of softer. It's probably the same level of sweetness, but because it doesn't have like the tobacco and the jasmine, it's a bit softer and smoother for me. So I just prefer that one. I don't need both. So yeah, I'm going to pass this one on, but it is very pretty. And I can see why this is the one that everyone talks about, but in classic fusspot style, the one that people never really talk about is the one that I like way better. I don't know, there's something magical. I think it's because it's the difference between like rum and a dessert wine. And although I do like rum occasionally, I don't really drink much, but I do love a dessert wine. I love a sweet dessert wine. I have a very sweet tooth when it comes to that kind of thing. All right. So let's see. So I wore this one, but this was a bit of a mistake because, firstly, I really like this when it's raining for some reason, but it wasn't raining. It was just a very, very cold and dry day. This is Periwinkle and Iris from Vera Wang, and I do love this perfume, but I was really in a cozy mood, and because this is like blue purple florals, it's very sweet and it's a bit creamy and it's slightly powdery and it's really pretty, but it's not quite right for when I want to feel cozy, because it's not really it's not a warm cozy. I was doing warm spicy. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe was going for this week. So as much as I love this one, I put it on in the morning. I thought, oh no, I've made the wrong decision. So top notes of bergamot and mandarin orange, middle notes iris, violet, periwinkle and jasmine, base notes whipped cream, sugar, vanilla and benzoin. So the benzoin stops it from being like too cold, but at the same time, it's predominantly sugar, whipped cream, iris, and violet to me. So it's quite a cool perfume, despite being so sweet. So I wore this throughout the day at work, and then when I came home in the evening, that's when I wore Rive My Only Wish again because I was obsessed. Warm, delicious, tasty. But yeah, this genuinely, if it had been raining that day, I probably would have loved it because I don't know why. There's something about it being that kind of weather that just really works for this. I've just realised I can just take this away actually. I can just take that away. In fact, I'm going to move that one over there. There we go. I'm going to put that one there. That's better, isn't it? Sorry, I had to rework out how I'm going to do these because I've got my little Christmas tree in the mix. So, oh, mmm. I mean, it's delicious, but I did try to make a video about these, and then I was using a different microphone, and it made really weird noises. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to use it. I think I'm going to have to make a different one. But this is Creamy Candy from Lush, and this is from, hopefully you guys saw my short, because I did want to make sure everyone knew that Lush were releasing 7 scents. I think there were 4 perfumes, 3 body sprays, if I remember correctly. They were putting out some very limited edition. This is Lush times Community, stuff that people have been asking for, that they really wanted to have in perfume form. So they did that. And I ordered Creamy Candy, Super Milk, Golden Pear, Sticky Dates, and I've got it on the way. I waited till I saw a review of this one before I ordered it. What's it called? Tender as the Night. So that one hasn't arrived with me yet, but Creamy Candy I wore in the evening, and this one, again, they've slightly missed a bit of a trick here because in the opening, this really smells like Snow Fairy. Like it smells almost exactly like Snow Fairy, not quite as juicy, but that might just be because Snow Fairy is a body spray and like in perfume concentration it would be stronger. But Creamy Candy, it does dry down differently. So it dries down to have a creamy, vanillic, well, is it even, it's slightly vanillic, but it does have that kind of creamy candy vibe when it dries down. Um, the notes in here, they don't really have much listed. So it's like, it's perfume, vanilla, absolute, and anise. But there's some, I mean, the perfume, like I said, it smells like Snow Fairy. So it smells like cherries and pears. It's slightly bubblegummy. It's sweet and sugary, kind of like an actual candy. And then it definitely does dry down. And what you get left with on your skin is a kind of creamy sweet smell. Um, I just wish that I got a bit more of the creaminess like straight away. And it's not massively strong. It doesn't last particularly long, but it smells nicer on my skin than Snow Fairy, so I do prefer this to Snow Fairy just because I just really like how this dries down. Um, yeah, and it smells, although it very much smells like Lush still, it smells ever so slightly less plasticky than Snow Fairy. So I'm just, this one's staying with me, and then I shall be wearing this in like instead of Snow Fairy, and I will use the Snow Fairy body spray on my sheets because I do love the smell of it in my room. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I don't know that everyone is. I think a lot of people on for Grande have sort of said, oh well, it doesn't, unfortunately it doesn't smell the way I was expecting, or it just smells like Snow Fairy. But I do think it takes a little detour from Snow Fairy the more it dries down. So personally, I think it's lovely. I do think it's worth having. Unfortunately, I think they've already sold out of everything. It's genuinely a shame that they didn't do more of these. So yeah, I don't know. They did do a limited batch, but I think it's a real shame that people won't be able to get their hands on these, and I think it's a shame. I don't think they went into store, which is a real shame as well. So, last but not least, on Friday, I had a hospital appointment and I really had a clear thing in my head that Amy Glam said that when she goes to like dental appointments and that kind of thing, she wears fresh cream warm cashmere. And I'd already worn that this week, and I thought I'm just gonna just like so I can do a little comparison. I'm going to wear my little fresh cream soft suede. So that's what I wore to my hospital appointment, and I thought it was lovely because it's not massively strong, and it retains more of the original fresh cream vibe than this one does, but it's not like full in that direction because it's got other notes that turn it into more of a perfumey smell and less of a kind of milky skin smell. So I really like this one. I think I do prefer it to this personally. I think this one's a little bit more interesting. It doesn't have that kind of popcorny biscuity note in it either. But the notes here are vanilla, suede, whipped cream, caramel, whiskey, amber, and musk. So it feels like a really complete perfume. This one smells like a complete perfume as well. Whereas I think fresh cream, like I said, it's just like one I like to wear around the house. It's not necessarily an outdoor one. Um, I do get the suede and the whiskey, and they're both smoky in a way that I quite enjoy. It's not too much. There's quite a lot of vanilla, but there's definitely, when you wear this on your skin, a nice dose of the whipped cream as well. Kind of sad that I've got this one in the bigger bottle and this one in the smaller, but I did manage to find another little one of these on Vinted, so I won't be too scared because I don't want to be scared to wear this one because I did really enjoy it. It's really cozy. It's perfect for this time of year. They both are, to be fair, as is the original fresh cream. Unfortunately, in the UK, this one's really difficult to find. It was a miracle I found it on eBay. This one kind of pops up in these little 15 mils occasionally. But if you want the original fresh cream, just go to Fragrance X because you can get that delivered over here. And I think it's like £40. And I do believe that these bottles are normally 60 from actual philosophy. So yeah, I mean, I've gone against the grain here in that I think this one is by far the most popular, but I like this one. I like the soft suede more than the cashmere. Again, typical of me. In terms of the fresh cream range, my favourite is the original fresh cream. And then the fresh cream and mint body spray is the next on my list. Fresh cream soft suede is under that. And then I'd say it's probably fresh cream honey, and then fresh cream warm cashmere is probably down the bottom. I still really like I like this whole range. I really like this whole range, and if they ever come out with any more, I will definitely try them because there's something about they've really nailed a realistic cream scent, and the vanilla is not so perfumey that I can't deal with it. So yeah, I really like this range. I think they're really pretty. Yeah, so that was my week. I'm going to be I'm going to be getting into my Christmas perfume soon, and I'm super excited. I've only got like a week and a half left at work before my Christmas holidays. I have asked my husband to do a little Christmas perfume video with me, so hopefully we'll get that filmed soon. Unfortunately, there's been an update on my iPad, which has meant that I'm not able to use my Adobe Rush at the moment, and I've got a few videos that need like actual editing. I need to put pictures in. You can't do that in YouTube Studio. So I do currently have a few videos that I really want to put up and I can't do anything with until they've sorted out whatever the problem is there. Um, so yeah, I might have to move things around. So my I did a perfume disappointments or something like that. I can't remember what I've actually called it, but that one needs editing. But I am probably going to be eBaying the perfumes that are on that, so I will. Maybe I'll put up a list maybe of stuff that I'm going to put up on eBay, and I'll let you know what I've listed. Um, yeah, because some of those are quite expensive, or they're like hard to find, discontinued, can't get them in the UK kind of things. So I'll let you know. I hope you had a lovely week. I hope that the cold is not upsetting you. I'm kind of enjoying being all wrapped up, to be honest. I kind of like it when it turns cold, and I can get all my sweet and creamy and cuddly perfumes out, and my big scarves and my big faux furs. It's a time of year that I quite enjoy, and I love Christmas. So anyway, let me know what you've been wearing. Let me know if you've got any of these. Definitely let me know if you've got any of the Lush Times community perfumes and body sprays, because I will make a video for that. I'll have to remake it. So hopefully the microphone that I'm using now is actually working, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.